Okay, so there's a lot of you that are listening that are over 50, and so we have to go there today. We're going to talk about some health problems after 50, and we hope it makes you laugh, because I know some of you are thinking, all this is happening to me, and there's all this crying. So we're going to get some serious ones and some not so serious ones. I guess they could all be serious, but we're going to talk about some.
Okay, I'll see you guys later. I can't do serious.
So the first one I have to laugh at, and I mean, I'm in the studio right now, but my husband can hear me, and he's gonna just like be rolling his eyes. I can tell already. The first one is shrinking. The reason I'm laughing is because this is a male and a female issue, and I tease him all the time because, like, when I met him, he was 6'1", you know, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're only like 5'10" now. He's like, shut up, just shut up. I am not, you know. He might be. He may have shrunk like a half an inch, but I think it's funny. I just tease him all the time. But oh my gosh, honey, stand up straight. I'm taller than you now. And so it's just, it's a funny joke between us, but really it happens. Like the discs, you have, you know, the vertebrae lose the water content and the elasticity that cushions, you know, like your little sponges between your spine.
Those, so Sonny and Cher had that going on way back then, huh?
Way back then. Yeah. Sonny lost the waterness between the spines.
His sponges
he got shorter and shorter. Yeah. So the other thing is spinal curvature. I mean, if you have bad posture and you've curved over, and then all of a sudden, have you noticed?
I have to sit up straight in my chair a lot more.
Right. I have to be mindful. And we'll talk about yoga again. That was really helpful as far as making me sit up straight and do all that right. Poor posture. I have to do a shout out to my friend Dominique Sachi, who I just adore her on YouTube, but she talks about the way you look younger is, you know, your posture makes you look younger. And if you're standing up straight. Now, I have always been taller than most everyone in the room. So I used to make myself seem shorter. Did you ever feel like that?
No.
Yeah. I was always taller. So I'm 5'9". So I go into a room and most women are 5'7" and shorter. And so I was always trying, and then, you know, I have heels on, and then you're trying to like stand on one side, kind of putting your hip out, and, you know, all you tall girls, I want to hear you say holla. But you know how that is when you're doing that. You're trying to seem shorter because people always automatically assume that you're snobby or something. And it's like, no, I'm just because you're taller and you walk. So you don't want to walk in and have people start talking about you that you're stuck up. Sorry, I'm just tall. Sorry. My friend Michelle is a rock star about this. She just walks in with, you know, 4-inch
I love her.
Shield, and she's already 6 foot tall, and she doesn't care.
Yeah.
So my friend Dominique, I say my friend, it's joking. Yeah. I have no clue who she is. We just watched her all the time. Yeah. But she talks about you take a towel and you can roll it up and put it behind your shoulders, and then you lay back on it and you put your arms straight out like a cross. You know, you lay on the floor, and that's a great time for you to pray, do meditation. But what you're doing is you're actually, the reason you start rounding over when you get older is because the muscles in your chest are actually contracting. It's not because your back necessarily. So what you're trying to do is do exercises that release these muscles here in your chest. And if you're on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing, feeling myself.
So when my boobs fall down, it's because it's the muscles in my thing.
That's right. So you're trying to just relax.
For those of you that are not a nurse and can't speak correctly, I will help you. This goes down here.
this thingy jigger does this other thingy jigger.
Yeah.
So you want to just stretching out your chest muscles. So it's like getting your arms, you know, getting a good stretch. And there's so many stretches in yoga that do this for you also. You know, I'm going to preach that till the cows come home. Also, you know, I am a huge proponent of acupuncture and chiropractic care. Even if you just go once a year for an adjustment and to get for your spine health, is because keeping those adjusted is going to keep that fluid moving. Do you see a chiropractor very often, Darlene?
You know, it's funny you say that. Ha ha. Not that kind of ha ha. No, I have not. And I love acupuncture. And I do know that I'm supposed to be doing yoga, and I promise I will at some point. Now all the millions of people now know I will do it that are listening. But the chiropractor for me was I've had some good experiences and some not so good experiences.
Right. Get a good referral. I
will say that. Yeah.
Get a really good referral on chiropractors. That's for sure. So as I sit here, I'm trying not to bounce because I have to pee. But so now y'all know that for the rest of the time.
Okay.
But the next topic is incontinent.
Get that roll towel that was between your shoulders.
Get the roll. Stick it. Yeah. Put it between my legs.
Put it between your legs now.
Incontinence. I mean, that's like the next thing. Is it happens?
Is that like in Asia or is that in Bolivia.
It's another
where is that?
continent. It's another continent.
It's another continent.
Incontinent. It's another continent with a lot of water.
Oh, yeah.
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 We've been told after, when you're having after you have babies and stuff, they'll tell you, oh, you need to do your Kegel exercises. Kegel,
Hold on.
tomato,
I'll be
tomato.
right back. I'll be right back. I'll be right with you. I'm gonna go take a break. I'm gonna go to this link and I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
And we don't have little weird marks in your chair. What was that from? Oh, I was doing my Kegels. So I am going to put a link in show notes.
I was just doing my Kegels.
I was just doing my Kegels. I'm sorry I ran off the road.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a link because the Mayo Clinic has actually a good little article on
good
Kegel exercises and the right way to do it. But I mean, if you really are serious, like for me, I am going to be way open. I mean, I have a problem. Like I have to make sure when I do not pass a bathroom up anymore. It's like when I have to go, I go, because otherwise I'll go anyway. And don't make me fight jumping up and down. And I know that we had a friend we just met after her second baby. She was doing some exercises. She's in her 20s and she, she has a really great, we'll have to put that down there. It's abs, core, and pelvic floor is the name of her book or her program that she did with a doctor. And you can get it on Amazon. And if I remember, I'm going to put that a link too, but abs, core, and pelvic floor. Core.
Yeah.
So, you're fixing the abs as they come apart after you have babies, but you're also fixing your pelvic floor that gets weakened. You had 3 babies. Do you have incontinence problems, darling? Do you pee your pants?
Only when I laughed way too hard.
Okay. Seriously. You're good when you're jumping up and down. You got all that good.
I think I'm
strong Kegels.
We won't talk
good
about
stock.
My good stock. Yeah. No, my grandmaturgeon did not have a very good, she definitely had incontinence. Oh my God. Just saying.
We just need to talk about these things. They're just real.
Yeah.
It just happens. People pee their pants, and
it's
we revert back to, I see, I don't even get mad at my granddaughter. I'm like, sister, I know it happens to me too. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But what's next? Speaking of down under, decreased libido.
Is that in Africa?
That's a second.
That's
another
Australia.
continent.
Another continent. Oh, libido.
Libido is on the other continent. Libido.
Okay, you're talking.
You know what?
Okay, you're gonna have to talk to this.
Reading a ton of stuff. I know, but what happens is a lot of times when I'm talking to different women or when I'm reading articles, I'm finding that the biggest thing is this: women just don't feel sexy anymore. And if you feel sexy, you are sexy. Or if you're feeling like you're sexy, it doesn't matter if you're a size 00 or you're a size 22. You feel, I have friends that I know they're well over a size 20 and those girls work it. And Queen Latifah, I don't know what size she is. Girlfriend is sexy and she feels sexy and walks it out.
My Hispanic friends and my African American friends, they got J-Lo times 2. They got the curves that J-Lo's got, but they got about another J-Lo inside.
And all your cellulite, everything. Whatever.
They are sexy and they know it.
Yeah.
And
you give off that sex appeal. And that's what's sexy. It's not that, she's got this perfect body. It's like, wow, she is sexy and she loves her body. Some of you might be taking medications that decrease your libido. I mean, a lot of antidepressants will decrease libido. If you have chronic pain and you're taking a lot of chronic pain medication, it will your libido low. It just happens.
I didn't know that. I don't take anything.
To your
so
doctor
how would I know?
Okay.
Thank you.
But you might have to talk to a daughter about what to do. Doctor, not your daughter. Your doctor about what you need to do. Hey,
don't talk to your daughter about your libido.
Some of your young daughters, you might need to talk to them because they can school you on what's new. I am. If you're not feeling sexy about yourself, you may need to try something fun. So I'm gonna tell you. After my divorce, and it's really hard, you're like, you've been married for a really long time and then you're like, you just don't feel sexy. You weren't treated like you were sexy, so you don't feel that way. And you're trying to just get in touch with your body again and just being good. I mean, you need to rub all over yourself, but I mean, I ended up taking a pole dancing exercise class.
Good for you.
It was the funnest thing. I keep thinking about that all the time. Like, why am I not still doing that? Because it was so much exercise.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's serious exercise.
I'm telling you what.
Core.
I felt so sexy and I loved it. It was so much fun. I remember my mom in her 50s doing belly dancing. She would go to belly dancing classes. And I mean, you see belly dancers aren't skinny.
No. See, I can see me on the pole. I want everybody to visualize this right now because if they can see.
What
But
is gonna be? Don't. I need
that's
a
what I'm
towel.
going to do.
I need a towel.
I'm going to do that on the pole. And then I'm going to probably have incontinence too. So just make sure you're in a class with not 20-year-olds when you do it. I'm just, food
Or you
for
could
thought.
give them a good laugh and be like, you too, you'll be
Girl.
inspiration to them. I think it's fun. I think you need to see a bunch of, if you try and you Google it or you
Let
look in your, you look for pole
Let them
dancing,
laugh. Give them
pole
something to
dancing
talk about.
classes. They will actually, you know what? That would be a good thing for your OC girls. They will come to your house. Women will come and do a class and teach you how to do pole dancing. And
Oh my God.
They set these poles up. I don't know how secure that would be. But even you can go to the pole dancing class. I would rather go there because I know these things are bolted in the wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't
Girlfriend here needs
house,
some bolts. I can't be on some tension rod. No. All right.
Okay.
Do it. Find something fun.
Find something fun and out of the ordinary. And if nothing else, if you don't feel sexy, you'll have a heck of a good evening and make everybody else crack up at you. We the OC girls do hula hooping.
Oh, fun. And Body Groove. That Body Groove. Have you seen that girl? She's got like the dreads. Have you seen those infomercials with her or whatever? Oh my gosh. That if you go on YouTube, I think it's called Body Groove. And she does it and she'll be like, you shake it, shake your boobies, shake your cellulite, get your booty out there, shake it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And you just feel like good. And I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes you got to do it on purpose because what you're doing right now is not working. So if you're not feeling sexy, you need to try something.
Yeah.
So speaking of not working is being more you get more sensitive to stress and anxiety. Women panics, anxiety, stress. Do you ever get sound sensitive? Like you feel like everything's really loud?
My God. Okay. Did I just blow everybody out?
No, I'm just kidding.
With my big mouth? Shh. No, I tell myself I'm getting older and that's why, but that I don't know what it is. There's sometimes I go into a room and it's like all of these women are talking. Oh, I love all you women. I really, really, really do. But I'm like, y'all need to shut up.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but they're all yelling and you can still hear the cat outside whining and then a dog 3 blocks down. Like you have like a superpower and you hear like all the noises all at the same time. It's so stressful. It's hormones. It's just super weird. But it happens. As much as you might be losing your hearing, which we'll talk about that, there's some times when it's just you have this increased sensitivity and you're stressed. It's causing you to be stressed. But sometimes if you're like you're constantly under stress, what happens is over time it actually can, some people that's why they have midlife crisis, because they don't release that stress. Like they don't exercise, they don't get out and do things to release the stress, so the stress is building up inside of them, so then they end up having some crazy midlife crisis because they've got to have a release, and it's like the old pressure, not like an Instapot, but the old pressure cookers, it'll like
talking about it and sharing it is
huge.
Helpful.
Yeah.
Very
and
helpful.
If you don't feel comfortable talking to your family and sharing the, Bible says share each other's burdens, right? But if you don't feel comfortable talking to friends or family about it, there's like talk share. There's all these things now online. You could actually get counseling online. You don't have to go to counseling. You could actually get one. But
this is not in the notes.
Stress.
Yeah, this is not in the notes, but I will say point blank, and she can delete this if she so chooses. I had a session with Charlie this morning, and I released anxiety. We didn't plan it. 2 friends talking to each other. I released a lot of stress because we were talking about it. I will say this. I'm gonna pay Charlie to talk to you, and that's not a joke. No, that's not a joke. Sometimes we don't want to talk to a friend. Sometimes we don't want to talk to, definitely don't talk to the family. Sometimes it's like, they're going to think you're nuts and put you in a padded cell. But and maybe they just don't understand what you're going through. I mean, how can my kids understand what I'm going through? They don't. They've never been 70 either. But if you don't have that trusted person, I pray you do. But if you don't, reach out to someone that can be your sounding board and will give you a 30-minute consultation.
www.charliebrown.co.
Let us not say
that's
for
just
free.
Charlie with an I.
You don't get anything unless you pay for it these days. So don't even say
one-on-one counseling. I
one-on-one
give you
counseling.
all free time, but unfortunately I can't.
Well, yeah. No.
And that would just stress me out. and now I can't be
Oh,
stressed
and then you're
out.
going to have to call me, and then, I'll
Yeah,
hang up on your
yeah,
butt. So
right. Yeah.
anyhow, I just that's what came up in my mind. And I thought, I'm putting it out there. Who knows if it's going to be on this podcast? If it
Well,
is,
shots
lucky you.
everything is wearing out, and so one of the things that causes stress and anxiety is pain. And so like knee problems, for example, is a big thing. Your shocks and your struts start wearing out. Your back, your ankles, you feel like, gosh, these all hurt. But a lot of it has to do is a lot of us aren't moving. And we're going to say this over and over probably today, is if you don't move it, you lose it. But if you're not, the more you're moving,
right,
the synovial fluids in your
oh
joints, keep
Lord,
them, I know it's a big word. Synovial fluids in your joints lubricate those joints and keep them being able to move well, keeps the inflammation down. Exercise reduces the stress, which also reduces inflammation. It's just a vicious circle. But I'm telling you, lately I've been having this issue with my left knee, and they're like, oh, but it's just arthritis. The only thing that's been helping, it hurts going up and down stairs. It just hurts. So getting on the toilet, can I just say, speaking of peeing again, getting up and down off the toilet was so painful. I started using lemongrass essential oil. I use it in the morning and at night. That's it. A couple drops on my knee, and I just rub it around on there. Someone told me to do it, so I'm doing it. And I've been doing it morning and night faithfully. I just leave the little bottle by my bed. And I'm just going to tell you this. It does not hurt when I sit to pee now. I notice I've been like bracing myself to like scream. I almost like passed out one time. It hurt so bad. And I'm not even exaggerating. And it doesn't hurt at all anymore when I sit to pee. And still going up and down stairs can be our stairs will be a little challenging, more down than up, but I can pee.
But Nurse Darlene is going to give you another remedy for real.
Yes.
And I know and I'm not saying this because you are, but CBD oil, CBD cream, maybe in the lemongrass, whatever. I don't have any aches and pains at the moment. Thank you, dear Jesus. But I do have a girlfriend that the other day she said, oh, my knee hurts. And I said, my back is hurting a little bit. And I don't know why, because I haven't done anything super strenuous. Maybe it's my mattress that's bad. And she goes, why don't you put a little CBD cream on that? And I go, oh, I do have some I forgot about. And I put it on, I smelled like, okay, I didn't really care for the smell, but Shiloh doesn't care. So it went away. It went away, but so did the backache. And she goes, wow, why am I telling you to do that? I'm going to put it, because she had fallen on her knees, and she said, ooh, that didn't feel real good. So she put that on there, and it was gone. So I think you have a link to that too, don't you?
Yeah. Hey, segue. Nice segue. Yeah, I have.
No,
I like to keep the planet green. So I am a CBD dealer.
Hey,
can't buy a dime bag from me, but you can get CBD oil from me. So, and yes, it's funny you say that, because I did. That's how this all started, was for pain management for myself and my husband, but both of us dealing with that. So, and also because of the next thing, sleep disorders. Yeah. Yes. All natural. I'm not taking something made in a pharmacy. It's from an organic, I was gonna say field, an organic farm in Kentucky. But the other reason was because of sleep disorders. I had issues with sleep. And, when you have issues with sleep, you're going to gain weight because you have to sleep enough, or your body does not release the weight because of your human growth hormone isn't working properly. It only comes out at night when you're asleep. What else happens?
I don't know, but I must have been sleeping a lot lately, because look at me.
Well, daytime sleeping. No, you didn't get enough sleep. If you don't sleep enough, you gain weight. So you have to tell people, I got to go bed early. I'm on a diet,
See, I'm on a diet.
I got to
get away from
to bed.
Yeah. Well,
I was just telling my friend Brenda that her neck and shoulder pain she has horrible sleep patterns. And I was reading that one of the reasons that people have really bad neck and shoulder pain is because of poor sleep. Or you see people falling asleep in there, during the daytime. I
know for a fact, I have someone I know very personally, I've known for over 50 years. The neck and the shoulders are always hurting. And she hasn't moved it. Move it, or lose it. And then the sleep patterns have been horrible. She does have sleep apnea.
Yes.
She did do a study. Oh, I'm sorry. She's not using the apparatus that she's supposed to be using. So
life-changing.
Wow. Just amazing. If we don't, it's like our body is like a car. It does, over time, but it needs maintenance. It needs maintenance. That's all.
It does. I mean, and apnea can be one of those things that your partner kind of has to tell you if you have apnea. But if you're waking up and your mouth is super dry, you're not feeling like you're waking up more tired when you wake up, when you're not, you know that you're just not sleeping, but then your partner's like, dude, you were like snoring like a train.
Yeah, the
But
train came through. Yep.
you need to go have a sleep study done and find out. And I know, we talked about being sexy and all those things, and we are going to do a podcast about that another time, but I know it's hard. You put this mask on and you feel like the elephant woman and in whatever. Just make it funny. Be like, hey, you can make it funny and laugh about it. Do all your
throw a boa around your neck.
Throw a boa around it and bedazzle it. Whatever. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Just, I promise you, everyone, if you
it
are
beats
using
the alternative.
Yes. The other thing is, if you do have apnea, it's a huge strain on your heart, and it decreases your life expectancy and increases the chances of a heart attack really, really significantly. Losing weight. If you're not sleeping really well, you probably need to lose some weight, because that'll cause apnea, because you've got fat around your neck. You got to turn your devices off when you go to bed. Some of you just aren't sleeping well because you're reading up until, I did that last night. I was watching stuff up till the very last minute. And I literally, not just, if you're just reading, that's one thing. But if you have, I was watching videos, and so my brain was activated in this.
Yeah.
And I was strategizing in my sleep. And
I wake up fried when I do that. Literally, I may get my 7 or 8 hours in, but I get up and I'm like, I feel like the ping pong ball in the middle of a little, hamster wheel at the same time. And I'm like, what?
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, you didn't just turn those lights off.
Be done.
Be done and just rest.
You need a night routine.
Yeah.
To wind down. Get your room darker. Some of you have too many little lights on everything. Turn all those off. Your room might be too hot. Sorry, excuse me. Your room might be too warm. You might need a little cooler, so that will help you sleep better.
My window's always open. I love it. Yep.
CBD oil. I'm going to tell you again. That's another issue, especially for all of us, the menopause women and that are listening. They need that. Lavender oil, that's my thing. So my thing now is I spray melatonin under my tongue. I do lavender oil on the bottom of my feet, and I take magnesium. Now the problem is, if I spray too much melatonin or I put too much lavender oil, then 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm still snoring away because I have to be careful.
There is a balance.
There is a balance. There's a balance.
Do not drown your feet in lavender oil.
Yes. So
comatose.
Sleep is a big deal. Sleep is a big deal, ladies. Yeah. We know that, especially menopause, that sleep is a big deal. So we just want to give you some help a sister out. If you have any comments, please let us know if stuff that's working for you. Put those in the comments for us.
Or if you got questions, you got Nurse Nancy on here, and Darlene that really doesn't know, but she'll make you laugh.
She plays one on TV. She watches Grey's Anatomy, so she probably saw an episode.
That's right. I am Dr. Darlene.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about this the other day. Decreased taste and smell. So you might notice that things don't quite taste. You're having to put more salt on things than you used to because you're not quite tasting it. Doesn't mean you have bad taste. I'm not saying that, girl, you got bad taste.
Oh, no, I've had bad taste in a lot of people.
Decreased taste.
Oh, decreased.
Yeah. The other thing is,
okay. And you said smell. And I told you this the other day, and I was really, I told you a long time ago, I can't smell the ocean anymore. I live here. And you know how when you first crest over whatever you're cresting over the street and you smell the ocean air and it's, the salt air is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I do not smell that anymore. And I'm pretty upset about it. Let me just say it.
Well, and we talked about that. That isn't because you're older. That's because you got desensitized to it. It's like living on you always wonder, how do those people live on those dairy farms? It's because they've desensitized. You smell something over and over, then your olfactory senses just shut off. Same thing with you. Have you noticed you wear a certain perfume, you don't smell it anymore because your body, you're used to that smell, and you don't even smell your perfume. You're like, so you have to change it up. Speaking of perfume, old lady alert. Have you ever noticed?
Here it comes, ladies. Old ladies, please pay attention.
5. I want you to look at your hand. You have 5 fingers on one hand. That's the max times you're allowed to spray yourself with your perfume. Just because you can't smell it doesn't mean we can't.
There was a couple girlfriends that were not old, but they were definitely in their over 40. Yeah. Maybe they
over
were in their
40, 50s. Over 40.
I walked by them in the market and I was like, okay, what was I going to go get?
Stop it. Well, a lot of that for them is because they're saying they don't smell it anymore because they've been wearing it for so long. So look at your hand. You're not allowed to spray more than 5 times. I mean, that's even a lot.
Rule of thumb.
You should do 4, but if you literally rule of thumb.
Forget the thumb.
Forget
1, 2, 3,
your
4.
thumb. You should do 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4, done.
Yeah.
That's all you're allowed to do.
Yeah.
And that better thing to do is you spray it in the air and walk through it. And we all smell you, I promise.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. Or not.
Yeah, it's
but
beautiful or not so much. But yeah.
Don't
Also,
care
when
for
you
that.
go to the doctor's office, please do not wear perfume.
Oh.
There's a lot of people there. So you're not supposed to wear people don't know that. I thought it was a common thing that everyone knew this.
I don't know
Do
that.
not
What?
wear perfume or perfumed lotions when you go to the doctor's office. Because it's a small space. Everyone's in there. Everyone's allergic to all the different smells. They're all fighting with each other. And the poor healthcare providers are like, good God almighty, stop wearing the perfume. We hate it.
Is that why they wear those masks?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not feeling well today. And then they have, please.
I didn't know that, Charlie.
Please don't wear perfume when you go to the doctors. Yeah.
Or dentist, I guess, too, huh?
Exactly. Just don't do it. Yeah. Can you imagine all the lingers in the room and it's all mingling with like 35 different women's perfumes at the end of the day, and you're just wanting to, your eyes are burning, you can't breathe because
see,
you learn something every day.
I love that.
Health alert. Yeah.
I like that. I didn't know. Okay.
Here's your second. Your second health alert is, what happens? Skin cancer. What all the damage that you did, and we'll scoot through this. We don't keep you all the things that happened when you were, all the times you laid out in the sun with baby oil and iodine or lard or butter or whatever.
All of that.
Yeah, all of it's going to show up now as we get older. All of a sudden you start noticing you have funny little marks on you. So I do really encourage you, and I'm not joking, go get a skin check at least once a year. And they need to be checking everything. I want them up inside your butt crack, in between your toes, behind your ears, in your vagina. I don't care, but they need to be all up. If you're laying in tanning booths, you need to get your vagina checked, everything, because you can have I was going to say a melanoma anywhere.
Melatonin.
And I'm just going to tell
stuck up your ass.
My super dear friend, a very good friend. I've had friends, die of melanoma, and they had a tiny little black mark and they thought it was nothing, but it's like an iceberg. It looks tiny on the top, but it's huge underneath. And I can't stress enough to you, go check out my friend Burnt Freckle on Instagram. It's at Burnt Freckle, and my friend Corey Feltz in her journey with skin cancer. Beautiful friend. Just even squamous cell. I'm not going to say it's cancer, and it's scary. And she had to go through topical chemotherapy, which was horrible if you see her pictures. So I just want to make a big deal about that. Go get your skin checked, put your sunscreen still on. And because all that's going to be showing up, you may have other issues, dry skin, eczema. Just go see a dermatologist, go get that checked out.
So that should be once a year?
Absolutely. You get your skin checked once a year, because the stuff is going to start, it's coming to the surface that happened deep lower when you're a kid and teenager and 20, when you're running around, doing all the stupid things. And again, I've been in a tanning booth way too many times. So do that. Slower metabolism that happens.
Oh yeah. Mine hasn't even caught up with me yet. It's so slow.
Right. Right. And what happens is all the poor choices we made, our digestive process, it affects our metabolism. It's all catching up to us. Again, eating smaller, more frequent meals, protein as the base of every snack and every meal is going to help you. And we'll post a thing about best ways to speed up your metabolism.
My mom and dad, their whole life, ever since I can remember, and I'm just going to say in my junior year, they started going out to dinner every night, mom and dad, and they never, ever had their own plate. And I thought, well, dad is such a cheap tightwad. I mean, God, no, number one, my mom and dad just were not food lovers. Like I never used to be. I think I started hitting that season of my life when I went through menopause. And even though I went through rather quickly, I know a lot of women get mad at me. Sorry, I won't go into that 2 hot flashes and I was done story, because nobody likes me. But I started eating like a truck driver. So that's just darling, forget getting on that pole and swinging around, that couldn't get up to do that. So my point is that they ate half a meal, both of them, every day. You and I have been out, and it's like, let's share this, Yeah, it's like, it's much better if you're still hungry later, and they would do this. If they're still hungry, they had a little salad or they had a little cup of soup. It's like, you're not, we're in first world here.
We live to eat instead of eating to live.
Yeah.
It's a little different. Yeah.
My parents did not love to eat.
Yeah. I wish I'm changing that.
Yeah.
Brittle bones is another thing. And I'm going to do this I'm going to go through some really quick ones. Brittle bones. That's a lot of it's hereditary. Osteoporosis is something that is hereditary. And the
Okay.
best way to prevent that and the best way to help with your brittle bones is weight-bearing exercises. It can be squats. You can use, water jugs, milk jugs, or if you're going to go to the gym, you want weight-bearing exercises. That is the only thing, is because it kind of, the best way to explain it is that it breaks the bone down, so it kind of builds it back up and it makes it stronger. So the best way to keep your bone density. Also, after 50, you're going to need to start getting bone density checks, because you want to catch osteoporosis before it catches you. Slower liver. As we grow older, we also, that you'll notice that when you go see your doctor for checkups, they do a CMP. It's a complete metabolic panel. They're checking your liver functions. One of the reasons is because as you get older, your liver doesn't process things. It's a little more sluggish. So when you're taking medicines, especially if you're on a pain medicine, and you see like some older women, like older people, they go wackadoodle when they take like a pain med after a surgery. They get their hip replaced and then they go wackadoodle. It's because their liver isn't processing that like it used to. And so that dose is toxic to them. So be notified, gosh, I used to be able to take a Benadryl and it was no big deal. Now I take a Benadryl and I'm like wackadoodle. So I go to sleep and like I have to do a half of one. Be mindful. You may only be able to tolerate a half of certain pills that you take. And so be mindful of that, talking to your doctor about it. Loss of hearing.
What?
I knew it. I knew you were going to do it.
What? No, I have a girlfriend that I love dearly, and she, told me from the get-go, I wear hearing aids. I'm like, okay, fine. I didn't know. And she said, people sometimes we're ashamed about it, because this is what she said people say to her. Oh, really? You didn't look like you were hard of hearing. Well, what the heck does that mean? Like, why do you have like 3 eyes and your hair's green or what? So she, is a little bit. I think she still is a little bit.
It's really a stigmatism that goes with it, but they're so fantastic now. They're tiny.
Oh, they are. You don't even know she's got them in. Yeah.
They connect to your smart TVs. They connect to your phones so that you can hear. And I'm going to say, even when I remember going through at 35, going through nursing school, and I thought I was so old. I would have a hard time hearing like stuff, and I'm listening really hard. I'm so nervous, and just hearing. Even at that age, I noticed my hearing is changing.
Mine too.
I have to,
but we do, don't we? I'm asking you. We really do get our hearing is different.
Well, it's damaged because what happens is the little villi, our little thingies in your ear, they get damaged, and you don't fix those. And that's from listening to loud music, concerts. We all, and most of us, we're out doing life, and so there's damage. And if you've noticed people have to repeat themselves, go get a hearing check. I mean, don't go through life not being able to hearing the most amazing things. And God has created these, allowed, put the science, he's put the science out there that people could have these amazing hearing aids so that you could hear the things he's put out there. My husband wears hearing aids, and I remember him wearing them for the first time, and he was like, oh my gosh, what's that noise? What is that? I'm like, it's a bird. He hadn't heard, like, just especially ranges. Same thing with your eyes. We talked to your smell, your taste, your ears. Same thing with your eyes. Your sight changes. Go get, your eye. You might need to be wearing glasses. After 40, my mom cursed me. She said, at 40, you'll see. And sure enough, literally, I woke up my 40th birthday and I couldn't see. I was like, what? I feel like a mole. Like, what? I can't.
And that's funny because
dollar store glasses.
Yeah, I asked God, I'm like, can I just make it to 60? And trust me, it was like 60 in 4 days. It's like, okay, ask for what you want. You got it.
Yeah. Noticing cataracts too. You just go get your eye exams. Just keep up on all the things, and then that way you catch them when they're small. Needing more recovery time. I don't know about you, but when I go on a trip, I have to start now planning. I got to come home a day early because I need a day to get ready for the next day.
For real.
I can't come home like
I need a vacation from my vacation. Yeah.
Yes. So just,
and it doesn't even have to be like
working out.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a big deal, but even working out, you may take a little more time to recover. Give yourself some grace. All right. Sure. Your brain is slower.
Well, that's rude.
You could feel like your brain is slowing down, right? But you know what? Everything I've read on this, and I really you can speed this up. This is a choice. So you get to speed your brain up. You can do things that challenge you intellectually. And I'm not even joking. Do things that really challenge you, like learn another language. Go to do something that makes your brain have to work. And I promise you, same thing with physically challenging, things that challenge you physically will actually make your brain work better. You do not see successful people, doctors, lawyers. They don't just retire and lay down and do nothing. They're still
Right.
reading.
Yep.
They're still learning. They're
Yep.
still exercising. They're still doing things and I should say habits of successful people.
Mm-hmm.
So what I noticed is, like with my father, we've talked about this before on the show, is that my father was very sedentary, and what you can see the difference. Everything declined from there, especially mental. Yeah. If you don't use it, you lose it. Right.
Yep.
GERD.
What's that?
GERD is a gastroreflex, where you're burnt when you eat things. It feels like it's coming, like heartburn. It'd be like heartburn. That's the best way to put it. Heartburn. Okay. So you're feeling like a lot of people have heartburn all the time. It could be because you have a hernia, a little hiatal hernia there. It could just be your stomach isn't as tolerant, or you have overproductive acid because things aren't working. So a lot of people, I hear them complaining about having GERD. Or the big thing is people take a lot of medications. It's protocol in hospitals that they'll give you like Protonics right off that. You're like, why are you giving me an antacid and I'm in the hospital? My stomach's fine. I'm here for a knee surgery. It's because all the meds they're going to give you can mess with your stomach, and they give that to you in advance. So, vaginal dryness. Yeah, it happens.
Okay, let's move on to something else.
It's a hormone thing. I'm just going to say, go see your gynecologist, because your gynecologist can give you stuff.
You were going to say ophthalmologist. I'm like, wrong place.
I was going to say obstetrician, OBGYN. My phonics. Hooked on phonics. I was trying to remember. Gynecologist.
Yeah.
The dryness. I mean, if it's painful during sex, if you are just noticing, it's dry and itchy, you could get vaginitis way more commonly, and you need to go get. They do inserts for hormones to help your body like produce that. There's just help. There's no reason to do that.
Help a sister out. Okay.
Help a sister out. You may notice that you're getting little tremors. They're called essential tremors. It doesn't mean you have Parkinson's, so don't freak out if all of a sudden you're noticing your hands are shaking. But I do recommend that you go have that checked out, because it could be early signs of something like Parkinson's. But it is common that as we get older, we can get these little essential tremors.
I have a friend, who I'm talking about, that does her hands do that, and I think we thought for a long time she had Parkinson's, and they did say no. She had the test. She did
just essential tremor.
Her dexterity is really poor. But still, it's a little tremor, and it's like
she should do. There's things she can do, and it's also probably when the more stressed she is and tired she is, it probably gets worse.
Yeah.
So she can noticing what makes it worse and better, and avoiding those. Okay. And I just want to end with increased depression, because this is a really big thing as we get older. Because we've talked about life changes, things that happen, lack of friends dying, family members, people. There's depression. It's not a joke.
Yeah, and it's okay.
It's okay to not be okay.
Unless it goes on for a super long period of time. And then you really do need to get some kind of assistance and help, whatever that looks like to you. I mean, Charlie and I pray a lot. And I'm not saying God's not there to take it off of you, but in the natural, sometimes I was always thought, sometimes you need a Jesus with hands. You need somebody to help you. So, go to a counselor.
Yeah.
Go to a friend. There's too many things nowadays that you can't go. It's not it doesn't have to be this big black mark and there's something wrong with me because I'm depressed. No,
not at all. No, you may have a chemical imbalance because
life.
Things changed in your mind, your brain, and your body has changed, and you're not producing serotonin, and now all of a sudden it's decreasing in serotonin, and that's actually a chemical imbalance. It's no different than if you're not producing enough insulin. You would take your diabetes medicine. It's the same thing. You may need medication to help with the depression. But I want to say, most people, if you are living a healthy lifestyle, you're eating well, you're exercising, you're keeping your mind sharp, you're out doing things, the depression won't become chronic. It would be acute. It's something that just happens for a short period of time because of a situation, and then you're over it because you have habits in place to help you deal with those things. So that's another reason to do that. But I just want to encourage anyone who is out there who feels like they're depressed and they haven't been able to shake it, please go see a professional. Please, if you're considering suicide, I just want to say that it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. You can get help, and please reach out to a hotline, and we'll make sure that we have a suicide hotline in the notes so that we can help you. And I just want to pray over you right now. We just come against the spirit of depression right now.
Thank you, Father.
That we just speak and release a spirit of joy, a spirit of wellness, well-being, new strategies, new remedies that will just flood whoever's listening right now who's struggling with depression, that they would feel that and they would receive it, and they would be able to walk in who they are, reignited with vision and dream, fanning the flames of those visions and dreams that would help get them through this time. They would come into alignment with physicians that they need to, so that they can get the help they need to, and that we come against a spirit of shame for that right now. And we just thank you. We speak life. We speak life. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. That was much needed for someone.
Hey, well, the good old days, there's a lot of stuff that can happen, but hey, let's go at it and let's make it fun anyways. And we love you guys. Thanks for listening to us while we told you about how you're falling apart.
And we're going to lift you back up. Just get the cord and
that's right.
Pull it all up. It'll be fine.
We sure love you guys.
Love you.
We really, really, really love you. Bye.
Bye.